this chapter, what we are planning to do is we're going to focus on a more specific issue of developing new product and services. Okay, so when we talk about processes of new development, we discussed in earlier chapter the broader organizational factors to support innovation. Okay, but here we are going to explore a more specific needs of new product and service development. So what I'm going to cover in this chapter, basically we are going to look at the few case studies. For example, here the functional team, cross-functional team, how they will become effective. Okay, and then what are the factors that will influence the product success and failure. Okay, and failure. And then we're going to look at also at product or on the service innovation. Okay, service innovation. But for this one, if you look at what we're going to see is basically is cross-functional team effectiveness and project uncertainty. Okay, if you read the slide, it shows here how this study is done by examining 40 development projects. Okay, in the area of electronic and pharmaceutical industries. Okay, so this study, they want to identify the roles and influence of cross-functional teams. Okay, in different type of R&D project. Okay, so what they found is the influence of cross-functional working depend on the type of market and also depend on the technology opportunities. Okay, depend on the market and also the technology opportunities. Okay, so through the study, okay, through the study, it can be what they can conclude. Okay, conclude that the benefit and the limit to cross-functional team in a new product development are as the following. Number one, there is cross-functional team. They are resource intensive. Okay, they are, and are not necessary for all type of project. Okay. Number two is higher risk project. Okay, higher risk project are likely to have a high return. Okay, higher cost, high risk. So it's more likely to have a higher return and are strengthened by using the cross-functional team. Okay, that is number two. And number three, okay, number three, cross-functional cooperation, that tends to enhance information processing capabilities. Okay, of course, it will enhance the information processing strength, but even though we have that plus point, it should be balanced. Okay, it should be balanced with unexpected outcome. Okay, for example, there will be chances of having the conflict, okay, the conflict and group member turnover. Another thing that that can be concluded from this study is the benefit of cross-functional cooperation tend to outweigh, okay, the psycho-social costs, okay, in the case of high risk and high value project, okay, with much more technological and market newness, okay. And the last part of it is mentioned about the openness toward external information and knowledge, okay. If the information or knowledge involved is able to be identified and interpreted by functional specialists. Okay, these are the thing that was concluded in terms of plus and minus point of functional teams in the new product development. If you look at this table, okay, so this table basically shows what are factors that influence product success, okay, product success and failure, okay. They have a list down here, number of study, okay, from different sector. For example, SAP project, okay, wealth from knowledge, places, the industry and technical progress, Minnesota studies, Stanford innovation project, okay, sources of innovation. They have different kind of project, and also it shows there the key focus of each project. We pick one, for example, project SAP. Okay, the key focus of this project is success and failure factors, okay, in match pairs of firms, okay. So the main focus in chemical and scientific instrument. So they specialize, they focus, okay, on the chemical and scientific instrument. Another thing, for example, traces, okay, this is a project, hindsight, but in 50-year review and also exploring civilian project, okay, their aim is, if you look at here, their aim is to identify sources of successful innovation and management factors influencing success. Look at another one. For example, radical innovation, study name, radical innovation. So what they do is the focus of to review radical innovation practice in many study firms. So that's what they are doing. Okay. So in a nutshell, basically this this table shows factors that influence product success. Okay. So every project they have the key focus. The key focus. Same thing with your project, your company project. Okay. You must have the key focus, okay, in order to succeed in a particular project that you are doing. . So based on the table that has been shown in earlier slide, okay. So from these studies, what you can see is they are different in their emphasis. They have different in emphasis, and if you look also one by one, sometimes it contradicted each other. But even though you can see the differences in sample and methodologies, yeah. So what we can obtain from there, it is possible to identify consensus, okay, of what will be the best criteria of success are. That's why based on the earlier slide, what we can get the best criteria of success will be as the following. Okay, as the following. Number one is here is the product advantage. Okay, the product advantage. You look here, it's a product advantage. Okay, product advantage, uh, product superiority. Okay, in the eye of the customer. Okay, what will be the real advantage? Okay, high performance to cost ratio. Okay, unique benefit. What will be the uniqueness of it to the user? Okay, so these are the things, right, that come out to be the main or the major factor to distinguish between the winner and the loser. Okay, this is what we call a customer perception. Okay, customer perception. Product advantage. Number two is market knowledge. Okay, market knowledge. For market knowledge, what you can see here is customer and user needs assessment and understanding. Okay, this is very critical. Okay, and competitive analysis also is important part. Okay, important part of the market analysis. Number three is you must have a clear product definition. Okay, I mentioned the product advantage, a clear product definition, must have a risk assessment. Okay, must also have a product organization. Okay, project resources, proficiency of execution, and you must last but not least is you must have a top management support. Okay, top management support, because the management, they must be able to create the environment, the atmosphere of trust, okay, coordination and control. If not, it's a bit difficult, really difficult for you to innovate. Okay, right. In here, we're going to give an example of a top management support for new product development. Okay, so this is the case study pioneering by SAPHO. Okay, numerous studies have replicated the finding that top management it have a positive influence on the new product development. So if you are the top management layer, so you must bear in mind because your role is very important, okay, to promote innovation, to promote the development of a new product. And if you didn't progress, you will die. Your business will gulung tikar or not become competitive. Okay, so this this one need to be very clear to all of us. Okay, because the important, okay, the important to understand this relationship. So through the study that been investigated, okay, three strategic orientation influenced by top management, okay, by top managers, okay. They are customer orientation, okay, encourage to take risks, okay, and give their autonomy, okay. So for each factor, they try to estimate optimal level. For example, a moderate level of customer orientation is optimal, okay, for new product performance, okay. Very low or high level autonomy is associated with improved product outcome, okay. Uh, and in contrast with predicted curvilinear effect, managers' encouragement of risk-taking was found to exert a positive linear effect on new product performance. That's why as a leader of top management, you need to think about this. Okay? Do not leave everything to your downline. You need to give a moral support to so that your downline will produce wonder. Okay, wonderful outcome. Another example that we can look here is some example for case study from EDO. I just give you a different example here so that you can see a different perspective. The company EDO, EDO is a consultant. Okay, they do a design work. Okay, in the world. Okay, so we have a company based in California. Okay, and also in London. So what they do, their business is to design and to develop product and services, to develop the innovative of a new product and services. Okay. So their secret basically is they have tried and they have tested process, okay, for successful design development. Okay, so their ingredient of success is that been shared in this case study is really understand the market, they understand the client, and that's why complaint is very important. The feedback from our customer is very important. Because our culture, we don't like getting feedback. People complain and then we tak layan, and sometimes we should inculcate a good culture to get a good feedback. That's how we move forward. Okay, understand market, client, technology. Okay, should be able to always seek knowledge, try to increase your knowledge through reading. Yeah. Even PhD holder nowadays, even those in the so-called menara gading also, they don't like to read books. Okay, They don't like to, after obtain PhD, they all tired already, or I finish their master, tired already. No, you need to always learn new knowledge, understand market, learn the technology, what will be the cutting edge of it. And same thing of what they are having. This is the ingredient of success. So, number two, observe users and potential users in real life situation. Okay, cannot be just like short sendiri, do the survey, getting their feedback. But is it real or not? Is it real or not? Observe the user, potential users. Okay, interact with them and get the real life situation. That's what they did. Yeah, of course it will be time consuming, but in our work it is really worthwhile. Number three, visualize new concept. Okay, new concepts. The customers who might use them. Okay, visualize new concept. So by having the 3D printing right now, the technology of additive manufacturing, everything will be very easy because you can produce a complex shapes, complex shape which is impossible for you to do before. You can use by using the technology of additive manufacturing. I think this technology maybe is new here, but when I studied in America for in early 90s, they have done the aggressive number of work and project in early 90s already to have what they call rapid prototyping. They name also additive manufacturing, and now they call 3D printing and technology. So for here also, it's a bit easier, much easier because we have this kind of technology. Okay, using prototype models and simulation. Okay, so the customer can give feedback. As for my work or my project or my innovation, for we use we produce implant for human body, for hip, for knee, for dental implant. So we produce the prototype here, the prototype of it, and give it to the surgeon, and the surgeon will give us the feedback. Is it okay or not okay? And so within a short period of time, they can give feedback before we do the mass production of it. And then number four, evaluate and refine the prototype in a series of quick iterations. Okay. And number five, implement the new concept for commercialization. These are the process. So according to Tom Kelly, okay, Tom Kelly is a big man at EDO, said the first critical step is achieved through close observation of potential users in context. So that's why you say the critical step, the first critical step is through close observation of potential users. Not for the sake of doing it, but we need to get as close observation as possible of the potential users. And then the other step is to develop prototype to help us for evaluation. Okay, and we continue to refine it, and make it better. Okay, all right. For this one is another tool. This is a tool basically. We call this tool as QFT. I think some of you have heard of this one, QFD. Any one of you? Anybody? Hello? You know, any one of you have used this tool? It's QFD. Now I start asking students. Yeah, try to pick someone. Yes, Abdullah Abdul Karim, can you tell us what is QFD?
Can you repeat? I'm not clear.
Anybody in this class familiar about QFD?
I'm not familiar yet regarding the QFD.
Not familiar. Okay. How about you, Husna Hamiza?
I also not familiar, bro.
So anybody in this class familiar with this technique, or you have used this technique in your company?
We only study this in the total quality management class, I guess.
Oh,
This is the
3am.
course of quality.
Oh, you have studied that in your QKM
Total
class.
quality. Total quality.
Okay. Good. So just recap of what this project QFD is about, and I also have given you the YouTube link regarding QFD. Okay. Back to our slide. Okay. This one, the main focus of QFD, basically QFD is a technique, basically. Okay, the technique for translating customer requirement, okay, customer requirement into development needs. Okay, translate customer requirements, okay, into development needs, and encourage communication between engineering, production, and marketing. Yes, CFD is all about. So translate customer requirement into real product and services. Okay. So unlike other quality management tools, QFD is used to identify opportunities for product improvement, okay, or differentiation rather than solving the problems. Okay. So these are the steps, the steps on how to, what are the metrics involved, okay, to construct a QFD matrix. Okay, one of it is there are 5 steps here. First of all, to identify customer requirements, primary, secondary, or any major dislikes. Okay, any major dislike. Number 2, you have to rank the requirements, okay, according to their importance. Okay. Then number 3, you translate what will be the connection between the customer requirement, okay, the technical product characteristic, okay, and estimate the strength. Estimate the strength of the relationship. Okay, technical product characteristic, and you estimate the strength of the relationship. And last but not least is we'll choose the appropriate unit of measurement, okay, and find the target values on the customer requirement and competitor benchmark. Okay. This figure, okay, this figure shows the how the point that I have mentioned just now is QFT, how they are interrelated in terms of the top one of it, this one, the roof of it is the correlation metric for options. Okay, so down to it is this is our design options. Okay, design option. Next box is what will be the metric relationships between customer, okay, customer requirement and their design option. Okay, on your left hand side is the customer requirement, okay, in order for of preference, and your another box here, another box here is the competitor assessment in customer perceptions. Okay, and then going down here is come to technical assessment and financial assessment. Okay. So all of this, they put roof, this is like a building, this is wing, okay, wing to on your right hand side and left hand side. This, all of this, we call the house of quality, okay. House of quality requires significant amount of technical and market research, okay. Yeah, so the emphasis here will be must be made on the gathering market, the user data, so that we can identify the potential design trade-off and achieve the most appropriate balance between cost, between quality and performance. Okay, so you can use this also as a tool, when you want to do the assessment. Okay, these are the steps that I have mentioned just now. Construction of QFT matrix, okay, involve the following step. Okay, the following step: identify, rank, translate, establish a relationship between customer and choose the appropriate unit. Okay, so I encourage you to look at this, spend your time, okay, before you start the discussion, applying QFD to product development video link. Okay, the whole idea of this YouTube presentation is to see the benefit and the limitations, okay, of applying QFD to new product development. Okay. The following is research note 10.9. Research note 10.9 is basically shows you types of service organization. Okay, service organization for innovation. Service in organization for innovation. Okay, we look at here 10.9. So in this, okay, for this one, this research note shows that what they did, what they did, over 100 service organization. Okay, they make a survey, they study 100 service organization through survey, through interviews, workshop. But the goal of this survey is to identify what will be the relationship between service strategy, process for service development, organization, technologies, and performance. And based on their study, their survey, okay, there are 4 distinct patterns, okay, 4 distinct patterns or configuration that offer different advantages. Okay, this one berkait dengan survey organization or innovation. Out of 100 service organization, what they have in common, number 1 is client project oriented. Okay, client project oriented. Is mechanistic customization. Okay, mechanistic. So what is meant by mechanistic customization? Okay, so this the second point here is it is organized by the involvement of external customers in product development, okay, and delivery process decision. Okay, so point number 2 is talk about standardization. Standardization is the key factor in controlling the relationship, okay, and electronic link, okay, are used to exchange data with customers and suppliers. Okay, so we set the standard for project and product. Point number 3 is hybrid knowledge sharing. Okay, so in this type of organization, people, they are, they are cross-trained, they are co-awarded and organized in groups which reinforce their team identity. Okay, and number 4 is integrative innovative. It is basically integrated innovative organization. So the integrated innovative organization is characterized by cross-functional team in a flattened hierarchy. Okay, so they have open communication regardless of rank. They have communication face-to-face via email or using the technology that we are using now. Okay, so they are technical based, utilize expert system and management information system. Okay, so these are the 4 distinct patterns, okay, or configuration that offered different advantages. Okay, we're going to stop here for you to do this group assignment. Okay, there are many case study basically I have in my database, but when I look at different database to let you to learn, or to get the benefit the most, I think the BBC case study is a very good case study for you to discuss, and to worthwhile to read it with your team member, and then try to answer the given question. Okay, so BBC we pick up on the theme of hidden innovation. Okay, hidden innovation in the creative industries and media. Okay, such as film and TV program development, which is not captured by traditional policy or measures such as R&D or patents. Okay. These are the questions that I want you to answer. What are the possible mechanisms to ensure both creativity and commercial realism? Draw on both of your own experience and case study. What does it take to make an innovative project happen? What are the market, the consideration of innovating for global market, and what are the consideration for developing a global brand?